All right, welcome back, everybody, to Cincinnati, and now we're in the semis. We're getting to the end of this tournament. Last matches before US Open will start, or at least the end of the preparation for the US Open, and then we get the US Open starting in a week. Sinner, he is taking on Atmane, who is the qualifier from France. I'll say this before I forget. Lovely moment just happened in the behind the scenes with Sinner and Atmane. Usually, players are standing there, they're focused, they've got headphones on, they're not talking to each other, they're just, locked in. But Atmane turns around to Sinner and I think he gave him like a trading card, or he gave him something, he gave him a little card. And they kind of had a bit of a chat and a bit of laugh. Oh, how nice is that? Big semi-final, Atmane. Biggest moment of his career so far. Sinner, obviously, very serious, locked in. But this nice little moment there, which is, you don't see that ever, really. When do you ever see the two players talk before the match in the tunnel? So that was nice. It was a Pokemon card, was it? Must have been one of his Pokemon cards. It was a Pokemon card. Okay. That's nice. That's a nice moment. That's great. Love to see that. Already, Atmane already gains fans, right? Already. It was a special Pikachu card, was it? Okay. There you go. And it is Sinner's birthday, by the way, so maybe it was a birthday present as well. So Sinner's birthday as well. But let's talk about this match, because, of course, we all knew Sinner was going to be here. Jannik Sinner doesn't, on hard courts, doesn't lose. He doesn't lose on hard courts. And Atmane is a very... we haven't watched him before. We've never watched him on the channel. Very new to the scene. Before this week, he hadn't been in the top 100. Like, he's 118 in the world. 23-year-old from France. He's a lefty. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays. No titles to his name yet. He did make the first round of Roland Garros and the Australian Open. Hasn't made it to the Wimbledon main draw yet. And hasn't made the US Open main draw yet. But he will have to play qualifiers, or he'll get a wild card. Because remember, France get to use a wild card for... they get to pick a wild card, because the Grand Slams, Australian Open, French Open, and US Open have a deal where each of those tournaments get a wild card from their country to go in those tournaments. So I wonder if Atmane will get the wild card for France, which makes sense, unless, a Gasquet or something, one of those, lower ranked, Frenchmen get it. But Atmane, if the wild card hasn't been given, he might be the one who gets it, because he won't be able to get. You have to play qualies. Unless he gets a wild card. So, but umpire said happy birthday to Sinner as well. And, so lefty, new on the scene, 23 years old. So same generation as Sinner, same class as Sinner, going through the same junior circuit together. They probably met each other a bunch over in the juniors. What has he been up to lately? So in the challenger circuit, he's actually won 2 challenges this year. Both against Australians in the final, so that's great. Both in April, and on the hard courts. So definitely hard courts seem to be his thing. He's mainly won hard court events, or made finals of hard court events. Only one clay court final. That was a couple of years ago. He's got 2 top 10 wins, both of those this week. Fritz and Rune he's beaten this week. He came to the qualies, and he took out in the qualifying, which he was... I'm going to say he was seeded. Yeah, he was seeded 23. He took out Jessica and 2. So again, he beat 2 Aussies to get to the main draw. God, what's the guy got? What the hell? Let's hope Dimonor doesn't play this guy. This guy is the Aussie Slayer. What the hell? And then he played Nishioka first round, got the win. He beat Caboli in the second round, which is a huge win. In the 7-6 in the third, Caboli has been great lately. Then he beat Fonseca in straight sets. Then he beat Fritz, and then he beat Rune. So this guy has been just chopping everybody down, and now he's playing the best of the best. So huge step up from what what he's played so far. But he's had some really good wins this week. Of course, the winner of this will take on the winner of tonight's match between Zverev and Alcaraz. That is a crazy match that we're getting before the US Open. Sinner, he has come through. He got a bye in the first round. Took out Gallen in the second round. He took out Diallo in the second round. Avoided a third set there. There was a chance that it was going to go 3, but didn't go 3. Then he played Mannarino. So this is his third qualifier in this tournament. Then he destroyed Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals, and now he's here. So, yeah. Sinner's played 3 qualifiers and 2 he hasn't played anyone in the top 20 yet, Sinner. And people are going to say that's an easy draw. No. Well, yes, but it's not his fault. Like, he didn't pick who he played. Paul lost. That wasn't his fault. Musetti, Ruud, they lost. Rune lost. Fritz lost. It's like, Tiafoe lost. So, Sinner got the benefit of the other guys not doing well enough. So that's where we're at. That's how we got here. That's what we're watching. Never seen these 2 play before. There's a new first-time meeting. Now, let me check if they played in juniors, though, because I did say they are in the same sort of, they're similar age. So they might have crossed paths in the junior circuit, which would be interesting who got the win in that. It won't make much difference because, juniors, we see a lot of players playing juniors, and I mean, they get to the main, and I mean, Gasquet beat, I think, Rafa in juniors once and then never beat him again. But let me have a look. So Atmane in the juniors versus Sinner. The crowd gone wild. But the thing is, Atmane will be in the top 100 for the first time after this week. But like I said, he will have to rely on a wild card if he's avoiding qualies, or he'll play qualies at the US Open. But no, he never played in the juniors either. They would have crossed paths, but never met on opposite each other on a tennis court. So let's see. Let's see if Atmane can do something. Not even like beat Sinner, but if he can make it competitive, because we've seen Sinner this week, most of Sinner's matches this week, except for maybe a couple of tie breaks, most of Sinner's matches this week have been easy. Like, he has destroyed play. I mean, the last match against FAA wasn't even close. So let's see if Atmane can make it interesting. Oh, Atmane didn't play juniors. Oh, is that why? Okay, fair enough. And then tomorrow we've got the women's semi-finals starting with, I think, Swiatek first against Raducanu, and then Kudermetova versus Paolini. I might have got that wrong. It might be the other way around. It should be the other way around, because the better match, or the more high-profile matchup is definitely the second match. But no, I got it right the first time. And they're also starting a little bit earlier tomorrow, because I think it's because it's going to rain tomorrow night, so they didn't want to risk playing a night match. But more likely it's because they have a women's final the next day and they want to give everyone every chance to get ready. So if they have a night match, at least tonight they can have a night match. If it goes until like 10, 11 p.m., doesn't matter, because the guys have a day off tomorrow. But the ladies, they don't get a day off, so they probably want to give everybody a chance to get ready for the final with less than 24 hours. But here we go. Let's see if Sinner can keep doing his thing. Let's see. Atmane won the toss, elected to serve. He's a lefty. Let's see if that makes a difference, because that's a different... I mean, he did play Mannarino, and that's probably been the toughest match so far this week for Sinner, and Mannarino's a lefty, so maybe there is a bit of a lefty advantage against Sinner. Maybe Atmane can make Sinner work for this win. He's had a great week, Atmane, no matter what happens. Also, probably guarantees himself in the top 100 for at least the next 12 months with this result. I think he's sort of like around 70 in the world after this week. And unless he's got titles or another big match that I can't remember, big final, that he's got points to lose, but he should be in the top 100 probably for the next 12 months with this match, with this tournament. So it means it guarantees him at the Australian Open, US Open, it guarantees him to play all the slams next year except for the US Open, depending on how he goes for the next 12 months. But he should be able to get to pretty much every tournament, every big tournament, without having to play qualies, which is great for him. 30 love, as he hits that one out, and it's 30-15. All right. Here we go, 30-15. There's that man serves again. I'll tell you what, he has got a very Kyrgios-like attack on the serve. Like, he hits the ball very, very quickly as the ball... Like, he doesn't let the... He's not like Zverev, where he throws the ball up and waits for 5 minutes. Atman, he, like, tosses the ball up, and as soon as the ball leaves his hand, he's already going for... It's like a Roddick, Kyrgios-like snap. You don't have any time to read the serve, because usually when, you see Zverev, right, he throws the ball up, and it's like, whoa, bang. This is just like smack. Like, he just, like, up and, like, hits it straight away. It's a very short service action. A very, very quick service action. And that's a great serve out wide from Atman there. 40-30. It's a real punchy serve. It's very, very much like Nick Kyrgios. Or even Andy Roddick. Roddick had a little bit of a hold, but Kyrgios throws the ball and, like, it's almost like as soon as the ball leaves his hand, he hits it. That's what Atman's got. And he hits a forehand winner down the line, wins the first game of the match. 1-love. Good start. Solid start. All right. Just showed up. Cam singing national anthem. What? What are you talking about? All right. First game on the board. Atman serves are so powerful and he creates so many aces on serve. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's real hard to... It's a real hard serve to read, because as soon as the ball leaves the hand, he hits it. So you don't really have time to kind of, get that split second to see where the ball's going in the air to get ready for a certain shot. So it's going to be a very interesting day on serve. If he serves like that, it's going to be he shouldn't get broken too many times. As with a serve is a fault. Second serve. Could still be 6-love. To Atman? Yeah. Sinner can't win 6-love now. Not in this set. That goes out by Atman and it's 15-love. 15-love. Can you, as a coach, can you explain Atman's serve motion? Does he strike the ball on the rise? Kind of, yeah. He kind of... I mean, if you compare it to Sinner's action, look at Sinner, right? So Sinner throws... Usually what happens, right, when you're serving, is you'll toss the ball up, it'll go up, it'll slowly start coming down, and then you'll hit it... The best way to... The best position to hit a serve is as high... Like, if you hold a tennis racket up, it's basically as high as you could reach. So you want to hit it... You want to toss the ball up as high as you can reach. So that way, you're not hitting the ball like this. And also, you're obviously not having an air swing by missing it because it's too high. But you don't want to toss the ball up so high that, when it comes down, it's really hard to time, right? So you want to kind of toss it up as high as you can reach. So you see Sinner, he tosses up a little bit higher than he can reach, and then the ball slowly starts coming down, and then he hits it. So it's a little bit more, it's almost like, when that point, if you see like a slow motion, someone throwing a ball in the air, you know how there's that point where the ball kind of like stops and then it starts to come down? Like there's that split second, right? That's sort of when you want to hit it, right? When you toss the ball up and it goes up, it stops, and then it starts to come down. When it's just about to come down, that's when you hit it. That's the timing. That's when you got to time it. That's why you toss it up as high as you can reach. You don't want to toss it up higher because then it's going to do that and it's going to start coming down, and then you're going to, that's where Zverev, I think, had some problems, is that, back in the day when he tossed the ball really high, the timing was so off and, whatever. So you see that with Sinner, but Atman, he tosses it up and it's almost like as the ball's going up, he hits it. So he does hit it on the rise a little bit. I'll rewatch, we'll watch the next game as well, see what it looks like, because one game is not going to give me enough data, but you can see with Sinner's got more traditional, and look, the more traditional, like, okay, the ball's up, it hangs in the air for a second, and then I'm going to hit it when it just freezes in time for a second. But Atman, like Kyrgios, it's a shorter ball toss, and they have to like crouch down a bit more, so it's more like if you see like Sam Groth, who's got the biggest serve on record, right? The biggest serve, the biggest, the fastest serve of all time, unofficially, but he has like a really short, punchy serve too. So, but he crouches right down, so like he like loads up, like contracts his legs, kind of like bends his legs. And then just like, short ball toss and then just smacks it, right? And like explosive. Where some players like, the whole, the big, Zverev is a good example of like the opposite of that, where it's like a lot more time in that. But Atman, yeah, very explosive and it's fun. I love that. I love that watching those serves because those serves are super quick. They're super fast. And hard to control, hard to return when they go in. So yeah, Atman really he doesn't let the ball stop in the air. Like he is hitting it on the rise. So the ball's going up, and as the ball's going up, that's when he hits it. He doesn't wait for the ball to go to that point where it stops. Like he doesn't wait for the ball to stop and then hit it. He's hitting it when the ball's going up still. Which again takes time away from the returner as he hits a lovely pickup. Sinner hits it wide, 40-15. And I know like it's we're talking about split seconds here, but as a returner, you kind of rely on that extra time where the ball goes up, because then when you can see things when the ball's going up, okay, it's happening really fast, but you can kind of tell like, okay, I can see that, the ball's slightly this way, so maybe he's going to hit it this way, that I'll get ready for this shot. But with the Atman serve, it's so quick that you just don't have time to know where it's going. So it's a little more unpredictable too. All right, 2-1. Good start for him. I mean, I don't think he's nervous. I mean, he was laughing in the tunnel on the way out. He was having a great time. I mean, he seems pretty relaxed, playing pretty good at the moment. All right, and that's your serving lesson, right? Notes. So next time when we do the exam at the end of the year, you'll know what to say. All right. Atman gave Sinner a Pokemon card. Yeah, maybe for his birthday. I don't know if he's been doing that all. I doubt that he's been doing that all week. But to give one to Sinner on his birthday, that's such a nice. That's such a nice. This is such a nice gesture, yeah. Somebody said he gave him a Pikachu. I feel like he should have given him like a Charizard. That's what it seems like. That's where Sinner's right now. He's he's one of the scariest, biggest. Pokemon. I don't know if he's a Pikachu. Atman already did better than FAA. Oh yeah. But also FAA and Sinner had played before, so Sinner knew and would have looked at the last, the thing about these kind of, random players, the first time we see them, or the first time, they break out, is there is that like unpredictability. There's that, most Sinner hasn't played Atman, but also Atman hasn't played many players, so it's hard to judge. You can watch tape from maybe the challenges and stuff, but there's not much information on Atman for the coaches to even create a plan. So. So Sinner's got to learn, and Darren Cahill and the coaches have to learn, because Atman's having a great week, but does he play like, what does he do? What's his like normal game, right? Because Atman's playing the best tennis of his career right now, but like what's he like on, what was he like in March, right? What was he playing like in January? That's what they got to find out too, so then they can see the tendencies and all that stuff. What does he do at 30 all, at 5 all? That shit. It's hard to judge him based on this week because he's having the greatest week of his career. It's those little things that they have to pick apart. And also Sinner's got to, he's got to never played this guy. Whereas he played Felix. Even though he lost to Felix, he played Felix. So at least he has the data on, he knows how Felix plays because he's played him twice. But he also could watch the tape of when he played Felix last time and see what he did wrong and then fix it, right? That's why you see those like these unpredictable players kind of come through, and then guys like Fritz and Runa just don't know what to do. They get confused. Eala did it in Miami, right? She came through. She ripped through a whole bunch of people because nobody knew who she was. Nobody knew how to deal with her until Pegula, and then the element of surprise. All right, 30-15. How much tape do players watch on their opponents? Well, usually it's the coach's job to do that. The coaches are watching the tape. Some players probably do. I mean, if I was a pro, I'd probably, if I could have time for it, I would probably watch a bit of tape. But usually the coaches go and do that. It's part of their job. Or the coaches will go to the matches of the players that they know they're going to play next. So like maybe Darren Cahill or Vignosky was at the Runa match with Atmane and just kind of taking notes, right? They scout out their opposition. All right, 40-15. As the return goes in, the forehand of Sinner. Sinner puts it away. And it's 2-all. So have the US Open wildcards been given out yet? They have given out the wildcards. They gave the French wildcard went to Roya. So that means Atman's going to have to play qualies. Unless a wild card frees up. But Valentine Roya, the 24-year-old, gets the French wild card. So that's a shame. It's not a shame. Good for him, but and he's outside the top 100, so he needs it too. But yeah, Atman's going to have to play the qualies, and everyone's going to riot, just like they did with Boison when she didn't get a wild card. It's not Vignosky, it's Vesnosy. All right, Alex, stop crying. It's Saturday, all right? Cry less. Sorry, Flying Yogi. All right. 30 love. Can you sense nervousness? Or is Atman not that kind of threat? I tell you what, Atman does not look nervous at all. And the gesture, it's funny because the gesture of giving Sinner a Pokemon card at the start of the match or before the match started, and that little exchange in the tunnel when Atman kind of turned around and was like happy birthday, blah blah blah. That would have probably settled his nerves because, and I'm not saying that he did that as a tactic. I think Atman probably just did that because he thought it was a nice thing to do, but it kind of humanizes Sinner a little bit. If you go and, because they've never played, right? But if you, like Atman might have unintentionally, settled his own nerves a little bit. There's a bit of volley from Atman, too good, 40-15. Because it usually before a match, the two players don't speak. Yeah, maybe they just kind of give each other a little nod. But to kind of like have a bit of exchange and have some words and have a bit of a laugh. Atman serves an ace out wide, 3-2. It probably just kind of meant Atman's like, this guy's not that scary, and maybe this might not be as scary as I maybe had thought. Because there'll be nerves, but he's playing well, Atman. 3-2. He's serving well, and that's the important part. He's serving well on his side. 15 minutes in. Now I don't know what he looked like in the previous matches at the start of those matches, but maybe that's just his attitude. Maybe he just doesn't have nerves. Maybe he's a bit like Bublik, where he comes out and he's like, whatever. I'm not putting too much pressure on this match, right? Maybe he's a little bit more carefree. Atman's got 158 IQ. His actions are calculated. Well, maybe it is. But what a smart tactic. If that was a tactic, that was a high IQ tactic. to kind of just, for your own sake, have a bit of a laugh, get the nerves out by having a bit of a laugh with a guy that that everyone's scared of, right? But I don't think it was. I think it was just because it was his birthday, and he's like, "Hey, happy birthday! Here's a Pokemon card." Like, okay. Anyways, 3-2. Let's see how it goes, though, because we're only just getting started. And Sinner, I said this the other day, Sinner has, like, the way that Sinner walks and the way that Sinner just takes his time. He doesn't look like he's being rushed or he's in a rush. Is such a, like, that is such a, like, he's got so much swagger in the way that he walks around the court. He's just got that ultimate confidence. Like, he's the best player in the world. Not arrogant about it. He's not cocky and saying, yeah, I'm the best. But the way that he walks and the way that he just takes his time and the way that he owns, it's his court. Like, he owns the court. His presence is just, you can just tell. Like, just the way that he walks around. He doesn't rush. He doesn't sprint around. He's very, I need the ball. Give me the towel. I'm going to serve. I'm not ready yet, but I'll serve. Give me 2 seconds. Now I'm going to serve. Like, he's just very, like, he owns this. Darth Vader vibe, yeah. Like, he owns this place. He owns the tennis court. Be fun to watch, see if he plays Alcaraz, see if he still is as smooth moving or if he's a little bit more, like, jittery. Like, we have to maybe keep an eye on that in the next match. Anyway, serve and volley, Sinner, beautiful. 40 love. He also does have, psoriasis of his feet, so maybe he doesn't want to run around because his feet hurt. But I think, this is different, though, because remember, a couple of years ago, Sinner used to, like, limp around, and we're like, what the hell? Because of the blisters on his feet. This is different. He's not limping around and walking like he's got something in his shoe anymore. He's like Federer-like. That's what it is. Just has that Federer confidence. It is crazy. Anyways, good passing shot from Atmane, 40-15. Whereas, like, a couple of years ago when he had the foot problem was a big problem, he would kind of, like, limp around, but here he just kind of, like struts around. Anyways, 40-15. Well, you can tell who's number one. He's the number one. Sinner serves again. Into the backhand of Atmane. 4-0 from Sinner. That's a winner. That's 3-3. 3-all. Was he that way at Wimbledon? Not that confident. Well, that's the thing. It would be interesting if he does play Alcaraz, if he looks like that. Because Alcaraz is obviously the only guy that can consistently, push Sinner, right? Everybody else either has one good day or, there's no consistent play. There's no other player who consistently, even Djokovic, right, doesn't make Sinner sweat before they play every time. Only Alcaraz. So it'd be interesting if he does, how he looks against Alcaraz when it comes to, like, just between points and movement. Great serve, Atmane, if he does play Alcaraz. 30 love. Whereas when he plays Zverev, I'm sure he's going to be walking around the same because he's not scared of Zverev, right? He's not worried by Zverev. 30 love? Or at least he hasn't been lately. Like, Australian Open final, I think, changed things. 40 love? Need a Bublik Sinner rematch? Yeah, we need it in New York, though. We should get a 5-set match of that. I think that'd be sick. Get a 5-setter between the two in, like, the third round or something. All right, return goes in. And then Atmane with a drop shot. And Sinner gets there and puts it away. Terrible camera angle, but we got there in the end. 40-15. This should be 6 love. Why? All right. Beautiful shot, Sinner. As we to serve again. Atmane to take the lead. Sinner returns it wide. God, that serve is real effective. 4-3. And Sinner's having trouble returning the serves. I mean, straight like already 4 games in. Look at the first serve points won. 82%. Atmane. Sinner obviously 91%. Well, yeah, that's just we know how good his serve is, but Atmane's serving amazing. 6 aces already. I mean, his serve is. Sinner's still trying to figure out how to deal with this serve. Why can't you show it? It's totally illegal. So I can't do that, unfortunately. But I can tell you about it. He's doing great against the world. Yeah. Even if Atmane loses 6-4, 6-love from now on, you got to say, well, okay, those first 4 games, he's been playing well so far. But what I'm thinking is gonna happen is, look, Sinner right now is just downloading information, right? Atmane's serving well, and Sinner's playing great on his side, right? They're both serving well. But Sinner's just like, okay, I'm going to figure out, okay, let's see. He's going to try things out on the returns, and try and read Atmane's serve, right? Because that's the problem at the moment. Sinner hasn't quite figured out how to deal with the serve because it's a lefty serve, which is a little bit more, you don't deal with lefties very often anyway. But also he's never played Atmane before. So he's just trying to figure it out, Sinner. And he will. He will. It might take him a tiebreak to get it, but Sinner will eventually figure out, okay, you serve, at 30-15, you serve out wide, blah, blah, Sinner will figure it out. It might take him the first set to figure it out, but he'll figure it out. 30-15 love. Because I think once the ground strokes start, Sinner's happy. He's like, I can beat this guy. I think it's just the serving of Atmane that Sinner hasn't figured out yet, but he'll figure it out. That's why he's number 1. 15 love. As we serve again. Serving to the backhand of Atmane. Forehand from Sinner. Into the backhand of Atmane. Sinner with a forehand again. To the backhand of Atmane on the stretch. Sinner forehand again to the backhand of Atmane. And Atmane in the net. 30 love. 30 love. If you're a lefty, is it hard for you to play against right-handers? If you don't have a good backhand, it can be tough. But the reason why it's hard to play lefties as a righty is because you'll play lefties once a month. You might play. Okay, I'll make it really simple. I'll make it real simple. So assuming that you don't have a bad backhand, right? So Sinner in 2025 has played 3 left-handers in 33 matches, right? So what? 10% of the time. And Sinner hasn't played that much this year. 40 love Sinner. Atmane, he's played 55 matches and 44 of those have been against right-handers. So he's played right-handers 44 out of, 55? Whereas Sinner has only played 3 left-handers out of 33 matches. So that's the big difference, is that lefties play righties all the time. So they know how to play righties. Whereas righties don't play lefties very often, which is why lefties are so dangerous. So it doesn't work both ways. But sometimes when a lefty plays a lefty, that's a problem for the left-handers. When they play someone who's left-handed, because they rarely play someone who's left-handed. You know what I'm saying? But when you're right-handed, 95% of the time you're taking on a right-hander. And then you play a lefty and they've got different angles, different serve pattern, all that stuff. But for lefties, they play right-handers all the time. So it's not a big deal for them. They're used to it. Who are the three left-handers? So Shelton, Mannarino, and did he play Shelton twice? Maybe. No. Yeah, Shelton at Australian Open, Wimbledon, and then also Mannarino this week, and now Atman. 30-15. He hasn't played Draper. Sinner hasn't played Draper this year. Remember when Draper was flying, Sinner was not playing. Like Sinner didn't play when Draper was playing his best, and then when Sinner come back, Draper unfortunately got hurt and couldn't stop playing. Couldn't play his best. It's probably the only matchup we haven't had this year, 40-15, that I'm keen. It sucks though because I don't want to see Draper play Sinner in the US Open because Draper's coming back, from injury, and Sinner's on top. I'd rather see them play when Draper's playing well again, maybe at the end of the year. As that goes wide by Sinner, Atman, 5-4. He's serving well. Whereas it would have been great to see Sinner and Draper play at Indian Wells, right? That would have been a great match because Draper was flying. If Sinner was around, he would have been playing well, I'm sure. But yeah, toxic Shelton fans. What are you talking about? Toxic? There's no toxic Shelton fan. What are you talking about? Get the hell out of here. Draper's best. Sinner will still beat him. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Draper would beat Sinner if they're better, but it would have. I want to see Draper play his best, so then we get the best. It's not fair if we see an injured Draper or a underdone Draper against Sinner right now. That's not going to give us any information. But I want to see the best Draper take on this Sinner, and then see where he's at. Is it 4 sets? Is it 5 sets? Is it straight sets? We'll get a good indication of how Draper looks. Just like if Sinner wins this match, we'll get to see a good indication on how he looks against Zverev or Alcaraz in the final, right? What about Raducanu and Swiatek? Well, that's going to be fun tomorrow too. We're going to watch that. And we're going to find out if Raducanu can win the US Open. I think that tomorrow, if she beats Sabalenka, if she beats Swiatek, I mean, Raducanu is going to be a real red-hot favorite for a lot of people to pick as a US Open champ. Or as a potential champ. As a chance to win. Draper's not a Grand Slam contender? Well, that's not true. Definitely is a contender. All right. 5-4. Atman. By the way, 29 minutes, 9 games played. What this? Like I said at the start, Atman has a Kyrgios-like serve. He plays as fast as Kyrgios. This is a Kyrgios speed of set. He's very snappy between points, but he's also not playing long rallies because his serve is just so punchy. Sinner's also playing very quick as he serves an ace down the tee, 15-love. I don't know what the average set length is for a tie to get to a tie break, but it usually feels like, between 50, like 45 and an hour is when, that's when we play most tie break. We're going to play a tie break in 35 minutes. Crazy speed of this match. 15-love. Compared to last night's matches that just went forever and weren't as close. Or weren't as good. The serving yesterday wasn't as good. 30-love. At least for the night session matches. Sinner serves again. A fold out wide, second serve. Might be a grind later with Carlos and Sasha. Yeah, it's going to be a grind. I don't think that match is going to be as snappy. Serving to the forehand of Atman, and Atman smacks the return, but goes wide. But that was a message. He's sending a message, Atman. He's like, if you serve a second serve like that again, I'm going to go for it. And if it goes in, you're not going to get back. Now, Atman's sending a message. 40-love. All right, 40-love. It's too strong from Sinner on the serve. 5-5. By the way, chat, does Jannik Sinner have the most underrated serve in the world? Because I feel like we talk about how good he is on returns. We talk about his ground strokes. God, he's a bit of a serve bot too, though. He's got a great serve. Doesn't get broken very often. Very reliable. I mean, we talk about Zverev's serve. We talk about Fritz's serve, because they've got, bigger serves, or it feels like that bit. But Sinner's serve it's just very efficient. But we never talk about it because it's not like flashy like Shelton, right? It's very reliable. We don't talk about how how bad it is. He doesn't double fault much. All right, 15 love. There's Atmane with a backhand down the line. Into the backhand of Sinner. Atmane forehand. Into the slice of Sinner. Lob goes up. Atmane puts it away. No, Sinner gets it back, but he can't control it. Too hard on the smash from Atmane. 30 love. Love. There's a bit of fault. Second serve. Now let me have a look. I want to see if Sinner has to be top 5 least amount of breaks for the year. He's got to be like service games won, got to be top 5. He's number 1. He's won 91% of nearly almost 92% of his service games this year. Mind you, he has played less matches than everybody else, but then you got Fritz, who's got 89%, Djokovic at 88, Shelton at 87, Zverev at 87, Alcaraz at 86. And then Menchik and Draper and Lehechka and Griekspoor at 85. So Sinner's got he's won the most service games percentage-wise. First serve points percentage, he's not as high up in the, he's 61% of average first serve percentage, which means first serve's in. But first serve points won, he is number 3 at 77%. Equal with Bublik. So when he gets his first serve in, Sinner, on average this year, he's equal with Bublik on winning those points, which is pretty impressive. Because again, he's number 3. You got Fritz at number 1, Menchik, Sinner, Bublik, Rublev. And Rublev's got an underrated serve as well, but like Sinner's... Anyways, Atmane holds 6-5. Sinner has won the most second serve points this year, 60%, which is way higher than second, who is Alcaraz at 56. I mean, that's almost a 5% difference, 4% difference between first and second. So Sinner's got the best second serve in the world by far. Break points saved. He saved 71% of break points. Number 1. Second is Griekspoor. So again, like Sinner's leading all these serving stats. And then he's second in return games won. So we know how good his return is. We talk about that all the time. He converts break points 44% of the time, which is okay. It's not the best, but it's top 10. The ace count, he's not high up because he hasn't played as much tennis, but Opelka's played 37 matches and has 600 aces. That is so stupid. Because he's number 1, and then Fritz, who's played 50 matches, has 579. Opelka's played like 20 less matches, or 15 or 13 less matches and has more aces. That's crazy. That's crazy. Sinner's only hit 188 aces, but he's played nothing compared to everybody else. But yeah, Opelka's almost hit 600 aces, and he's played like 30 matches, 35 matches. Crazy. That's crazy. Anyways, Opelka might hit 1,000 aces this year if he starts winning more matches. Because it comes down to, if you win more matches, he gets to serve more aces, right? All right, Sinner serving for the tiebreak. It's been just an easy hold for everybody. We've had no break points. First serve, and both players are serving so well. As that man hits it long, the first serve goes in, just give the point to the server. Somebody asked, what about GMP? So GMP is 11th. He has 339. He's only played 25 matches, though. So, yeah, Opelka's played more matches, but GMP, 25 matches, 339 aces, which is crazy. So it goes Opelka, Fritz, Menchik, Shelton, and then Auger-Aliassime, which is interesting. FAA. But yeah, Opelka already have 600 aces. He should get to about 800, I would say, by the end of the year. 30 love. Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. As the return goes into the corner, Sinner. Backing out Atmane. Getting the corner, Sinner. As Atmane hits it long. Hawkeyes didn't give out the answer, but the umpire made the noise. 40 love. To take us to the tiebreak. All right, Sinner serves. An ace down the tee, all right. We're going on the tiebreak. Who you got, chat? I'm going to go Sinner. I reckon Sinner's going to clutch the tiebreak. Atmane serves well, but I think Sinner, if we look at the points, all right. I think Sinner's won more return points, and I think he'll get a mini break or two, and I think he'll take the tiebreak. Sinner's only lost 3 points on serve. So, Atmane's lost only 8 points on serve, but... All right. And then a double fault Atmane. All right. So now the first time for the match that Atmane looks a little nervous. He's looked confident the entire set until the first point of the tiebreak when he probably realized it's the first double fault of the match too. Probably just realized, hey, I'm playing the world number one. I could maybe get a set here. It's like, oh no, I could win a set. Like that, you know what I mean? Like he realized, oh shit, I'm playing the semis of Cincy. All right, Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Atmane. Return goes wide. 2-love Sinner. Yeah, chat, in tie breaks, the worst thing you could do in a tie break is double fault. Like that is the best thing you could do is hit an ace. The worst thing you could do is hit a double fault. Like that is tie break 101. Don't double fault. No free points. Don't double fault. And aces are gold in tie breaks because it's just free points and like every point is so valuable. As Sinner serves into the backhand of Atmane. Return goes in the forehand of Sinner. Atmane hits a forehand wide. And Sinner's got 3-love. Atmane's hit 2 errors on the forehand. It seems like he's just trying to force things a little bit here. He's not again, he looks nervous for the first time today. 3-love. All right, 3-love. There's a bit of serve again from Atmane. That's a good serve. Sinner gets it back. Atmane backhand into the forehand of Sinner. Sinner hits it wide. All right, there we go. Atmane with the reliable serve. Surprised this went to a tiebreak? Yeah, I mean, maybe before the match, I don't think people would have given Atmane a chance, but the way Atmane's serving, his serve has been awesome so far, except for that double fault. Like his serve has been very tough for Sinner. Serve in the back of the Sinner. Sinner hits it out. There's the good serve. There it is. 3-2. Only difference is a double fault so far. 3-2 Sinner. All right, 3-2. And the thing is, right, obviously Atmane's beaten a couple of really good players this week. He's beaten Rune and Fritz. Obviously, Sinner is ahead of those guys. You know, he's way ahead of those guys. But the fact that Atmane's been able to hang on with Sinner or stay in front against Sinner in this set is impressive enough. And maybe if he wasn't playing Sinner the way that he's playing Atmane, the way that he's serving, it probably, he might have been able to sneak a break off someone else. Maybe Zverev if he played him, or maybe, I don't know about Alcaraz, but, maybe this serving would have given him, against anybody else in the world, maybe Djokovic excluded, but anybody else in the world, he might have, this serving might have been enough, but not against Sinner yet. It's not good enough yet. Not against the best. As with a backhand now from Sinner to the forehand of Atmane. Sinner with the backhand. Into the forehand of Atmane. Sinner with the forehand. Cross court to the backhand of Atmane. He goes down the line. Sinner's there with the backhand. Into the forehand of Atmane again. Sinner backhand again to the forehand of Atmane, who goes down the line in the net. I like that though from Atmane because he knows he has to do something almost sketchy on the returns. He's got to do something, maybe get a little lucky with the tape, or maybe just go for something a little too scary and a little bit too risky, and it comes off. And that forehand down the line. If that goes over, Sinner's in trouble. So he's got to do something because Sinner's not going to give him back the mini break. I don't think Sinner's going to double fold or make an error to give him back the break. That man's got to take it back. All right, 4-2. Again, the only difference in this tiebreak is a double fault. Atmane's getting stomped. Are you watching this match, or maybe you're like 20 minutes behind, or 10? Maybe hello? Is that a prediction, or are you? He's doing pretty well, to be honest. Oh, you're hoping he gets stomped. Oh, well, that's different. Anyway, Sinner serving volleys, too good. 5-2. 5-2. Still that one double fault has been the difference. All right, back to Atmane. He serves. Into the backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Atmane down the middle. Sinner goes cross-court with the forehand to the backhand of Atmane. Again, the forehand of Sinner. Atmane backhand. Again to the forehand of Sinner. Atmane with the backhand again as Sinner starts to rip the ball. Atmane under all the pressure now as he hits a forehand inside out. Sinner gets on the stretch and goes long. No, it goes in. Atmane gets it back though. Sinner with a tape. Cross-court backhand as we get a backhand again to the forehand of Atmane. Now Sinner with a forehand on the stretch. Atmane cross-court forehand. Sinner can't get it. That's what Atmane needs to do on the returns if he's going to get back. But that's a good rally. I thought Sinner hit one of those out, but he hits it with so much topspin. And he's so precise that Sinner's going to hit the line every time. That was good from Atmane, though. Once the rally starts, the advantage goes to Sinner, straight away. But Atmane did well there. 5-3 Sinner. As Atmane serves a fault. Second serve. Serving the backhand of Sinner. Return goes to the forehand of Atmane. Sinner with the backhand. Again to the forehand of Atmane. As Sinner forehand. Cross court. Atmane with a slice on the stretch. Goes in the net. Sinner 6-3. Sinner to take the first set. Six-3 Sinner. Sinner. He serves to take the first set. "45 minutes played. There's been a quick set. Sinner serves. A fault. Second serve. Serving the forehand of Atmane. Return goes back to Sinner. Atmane with the forehand down the line. That's a winner. All right. One saved. 6-4 Sinner. Please don't put scores in the chat. 6-4 Sinner. One saved. Sinner serves. Into the forehand of that man. Return. Goes wide. There it is. Sinner takes the first set. He takes it. Really, it came down to that first double fault of the tiebreak. Because even though Atmane went down a double break, he did get one back. But that one double fault at the start of that tiebreak, the only bad part of that set, really, from either player, the one double fault in the end cost Atmane the first set. But surprisingly competitive, I think. I think a lot of people are shocked that this is as close as it is. Sinner, by the way, phenomenal first set. 15 winners and only 5 errors. Atmane, 11 winners and 15 errors. He's got 12 forehand errors, so the forehand's a little bit shaky. He did hit a few errors on the forehand side in that tiebreak, though, so there's probably about 3 or 4 of those were in the tiebreak. But I'll tell you, Atmane's serve, if he can keep serving well, he's going to keep it close and keep it respectable. It all comes down to a serve, though. But Sinner takes the first. All right. Cam, you should ban people who put the scores in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Deb's here today, so I'm going to do my best to try and sort that out. But yeah, please, out of just respect for each other, please don't put scores in the chat. Even if you're just guesstimating, just because people are reading the chat because they're talking to people, and to see the scores before they've been played, people are also watching it on a replay, watching it maybe 30 seconds behind. So just don't spoil it for others. You don't need to anyway, because I've got the score on the screen. So why you don't need to put it in the chat. So please don't do that. Yeah, I don't want to have to put in members only mode. But if it happens, if it keeps happening, I might have to. But I don't want to, because there's a lot of people that are not members that I don't want to shut out. All right, first set in the bag for Jannik Sinner. By the way, next match starts in 2 hours. We've got 2 hours until the next one, so a bit of time until the next one. And I tell you, it's going to go a lot slower than this one. The next match is going to take a while. They're going to take, and I'm so excited for the next one because I think a lot of people think Zverev's going to win. I don't, So Alcaraz fans, I'm on your team. Don't shoot. But yeah, I'm excited for the next one. I think the next match is the kind of match that we need before a US Open, right? Because that could be what we see in the semis of the US, All right. Did you see Atmane gift a Pokemon card for Sinner for his birthday? He's a good kid, even though I'm rooting for Sinner. Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was a lovely moment at the start. It was very fun. It was a fun. We don't see that ever. We never see the players talk in the tunnel. So that was a cool moment. All right, Sinner's going to serve first now in this second set. No, we're not going to watch Winston-Salem. Next week, we're going to watch the doubles, and that's it. We're only going to watch the mixed doubles, which I have no idea how they're going to schedule it. I have no clue. I think the schedule is just going to be between this and this time. We're going to play all the doubles, and then the next day, we're going to play all the doubles between... I don't know how they schedule these doubles. Like, they got to play... How many doubles matches they got to play? Over 2 days, they've got to play like 20 doubles matches or something. No, maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, 15. They've got to play 15 matches. Each team have to play 4 matches if you want to win the whole thing. So there's 15 matches over 2 days. So I'm guessing that they go first round quarterfinals, and then day 2 they go semifinals final. Maybe. So that you have to play 2 matches per day. Maybe. Or do they do first round and then they do quarterfinal, semifinal, final all on the same day? No, because nobody's playing 3 matches in one day. Does anyone know the schedule for the US Open? So it's round 1, quarterfinal, semifinal, final. 30-15. I know they're only 4 game sets, but still, you don't want to play 3 matches in one day. Even if they only take 30 minutes or an hour. You still don't want to play 3 in a row. 2 and 2 makes more sense. It'll all be on center court, I'm sure. Or maybe they'll put it over 2 courts. Maybe they'll put it like on the 2 center courts for round 1. 40-15. Sinner serves a fault, second serve. As the return goes in the front of Sinner. Sinner hits it wide. 40-30. As Atmane hits a great return, Sinner gets it back into the fawn, and now Sinner then goes in the net. Deuce. We have no break points so far. We have no break points. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. So the mixed double is going to be on Tuesday. It's going to be 2 matches, and then on... Oh, wow. Okay, this is interesting. So what they're going to do is on Tuesday, they're going to do the first round and the quarterfinals. And then on Wednesday, they're going to do the mixed doubles, semifinals, and final. But what they're going to do is they're going to do them as a night match. So on the first day, they're going to do 11 o'clock start and all day and all night, I guess. And then on the Wednesday, they're going to do night matches. So the semifinals will start at night, and then the final will be at night. So there'll be 3 matches on the night session, but because of the scoring, they can get through them quick. But so day 1 is going to be or whatever, on Tuesday it's going to be a big day, and then on Wednesday it's going to be nothing, like night match, night session, and then the tournament starts on Sunday. So there you go. Day 1 will be a marathon. We're going to watch. There's going to be a lot to watch. I don't know how they're going to, put them on, but I'm guessing that they were going to put, the quarterfinals will be sort of the night match. Sounds exhausting, yeah. So I think if I'm going to guesstimate, as Sinner hits it out and we get to deuce, I would say that first round, they'll put 4 matches during the day on center court starting at 11 o'clock, and then 4 matches on whatever the second court is. Arthur Ashe and Louis Armstrong, right? 4 matches over there starting at 11, and then at night, 7 o'clock at night, they'll put the quarterfinals, 2 on one court, 2 on the other. That would be my guess. And of course, they'll put the quarterfinals on at night on the stadium, depending on which players win, right? Where's Alcaraz, where's Raducanu? They'll play on center court, if they win and stuff, That's interesting. It's all new. We're learning how it works. We're all trying to figure it out. Or they might just do them all on center court, because they might all just go for an hour each, and they might just play all day and night and just play all the matches 1 hour, one at a time, back to back to back to back. Who knows? But it's interesting they're doing that. The semis and the final at night is interesting and great for my sleep schedule. Means I can sleep all night. I don't have to wake up. So good. Anyway, it's advantage Sinner. First game of the second. As a return, goes back into Sinner. Forehand from Atmane to the forehand of Sinner. Is Atmane forehand again? Sinner hit it out. This is a sketcy game for Sinner. We get the deuce. We get the deuce. As that goes out by Atmane on the return. Advantage Sinner. With a fault second serve. By the way, Sinner, in this mixed doubles, he is not playing at this stage, but he has until this time tomorrow to make a decision and pick a new partner. So, to be honest, I don't think Sinner's going to play this mixed doubles unless he loses this match. But, because he's going to be playing Alcaraz or Sinner Alcaraz or Zverev in the final of Cincinnati. Why would he, on Monday, and then why would he go to New York the next day to play the mixed doubles? That's crazy to me. The only person that would do that is Alcaraz, because Alcaraz and Raducanu are like the face of the mixed doubles, so he has to play. Zverev Bencic, I mean, Zverev probably rocks up if he makes the final, but I think Alcaraz is the only one that I think is obligated to play, because they've built this mixed doubles around him. You know, him and Raducanu. If they don't play, then no one will like this mixed doubles. I don't think anybody's going to watch this mixed doubles at all. I mean, some of you might think it's not serious anyway, but they are the reason why this is even remotely, piqued interest in the public. You take them out of it, everyone's going to go, well, who's playing then? I don't know. Because they're the only two people that everybody knows who's playing. All right, advantage Sinner. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if Sinner plays the mixed. He's going to play Zverev or Alcaraz. Why would he play the mixed? Also, he doesn't have a partner. Who's going to pair up with anyway? All right, Sinner holds. That was a long game. That was the toughest game of the match so far for either guy. 1-0. Swiatek can't bail on Casper either. Well, she can, but she probably won't. But yeah, it kind of sucks for the doubles event, because Cincinnati finals, and I'm not sure if the Cincinnati finals are in the afternoon or at night. I would guess they're in the afternoon, but I'm not sure if the finals are at night. But again, I mean, chat, just think about, put yourself in any of those players' shoes, right? Raducanu, Paolini, Swiatek, Sinner, Zverev, and Alcaraz. You win Cincinnati on Monday. That night, you got to fly to New York, get settled, get prepared, and then wake up early the next day to prepare for a mixed doubles tournament. That's shit. Like, you don't get to celebrate Cincinnati for a second. You grab the trophy, get on the plane. I'm sure that the two, if the finalists are Paolini, Swiatek, or whatever, I'm sure that they'll Sinner, Paolini, Swiatek, Alcaraz, Zverev, Raducanu. I'm sure they'll all take the same flight. They'll probably all just get a plane. That would kind of be sick to see, let's say it's, Swiatek, Paolini, Sinner, and Alcaraz in the finals. They all get on a private jet after the final and they jump on and they all go together. That'd be kind of cool to see that. That would be a cool photo. That'd be a cool moment, I think. But, to all get to the mixed doubles in time. But it's pretty rushed. 15 love. Sinner hits a wide. By the way, Sinner is looking a little tired. No, tired's not the word. He's looking a little out of sorts. Serving to the back of Sinner. Return goes out. He's not moving around with confidence like he was at the start of the match. Breathing heavy. Yeah, he is. He's mouth breathing. He is mouth breathing. All right, first serve is a fault. Second serve. As the return goes in the front of Atmane. Sinner backhand into the slice of Atmane. Sinner goes cross court. Atmane gets it back. Sinner with a volley. Atmane puts it up. Sinner puts it away. 30-15. 30-15. Yeah, Sinner's looking a little bit gassed. 30-15. Atmane serves. And Sinner just has an air swing almost. 40-15. And Sinner still hasn't picked up on this serving yet. The serve is definitely still a bit hard to read for Sinner. 40-15. Sinner returns the net. Atmane holds. God, Atmane's serve is untouchable. Except for that one double fault he hit once. Atmane's serve has been untouchable. All right, 1-1. If Atmane played the finals, would he still have to play qualifiers? Ooh. That is a good question. Would he get special exempt? I'm not sure. So the qualifying starts Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, qualifying. So I would say that he probably still has to, because they could put his match on Tuesday. Maybe. But because it's usually when a player cannot make the next tournament's qualies, that they, like Mboko and Osaka, Mboko this week, right? She would have had to play qualifying in Cincy, so cancel that. It's when a player is still playing an event and the qualifying is going on. So technically, yes, I guess, if he made the final and he was supposed to play qualifying on Monday and he was playing the final on Monday, they could give him a special exempt. But I don't know if that rule applies. Because then players could just go and play Winston-Salem and be like, I need a special exempt instead of playing qualies. So I don't think so. Sinner holds. Easy hold. 2-1. So yeah, they probably won't give him one because he will be able to play on Tuesday. I think. And he can't get a wild card because they've given them all out. So there's no wild cards to give. So yeah, that's a tricky one. Yeah, see, special exempt is given to a player, thanks Dutchy, who's unable to appear in the tournament qualifying draw because they're competing in the final rounds of a previous tournament. But the qualifying doesn't start. For him, they could put him on Tuesday. So that way he does play, can make the qualies, and the previous week's tournament isn't going to collide. But yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see. If he wins this match, it'll be something to talk about for sure. If he loses, he's going to have to play qualies. He's going to the quality. Unless somebody pulls out and gives a wild card back, and then he might get one. But thanks, Jesse. That was really helpful. That was perfect timing. All right. 2-1 Sinner. I thought they go by ranking at the end of the week. So, okay. So, because I know this is the same. We've already talked about this with Boison, right? Where she played really well at Roland Garros, but then she had to play qualies at Wimbledon. So, because Atman, okay. So the reason why Atman will have to play qualifying is because the rankings the week before only matter for the seeds. So if you're number 30 in the world a week before a Grand Slam, then you're 30 seed, right? It doesn't apply to who's in the top 100 or the entry list is a different thing. So the entry list is what happens 6 weeks before the slam. So that's like the entry list is like locked in 6 weeks before a slam, and whoever's in the top 100 at that point, so 6 weeks before the first day of the slam or of any tournament, that's who's going to play. So the entry list came out 6 weeks ago. Atman was not in the top 100, right? It sucks, but that's how it works, right? So the seeds are the only thing that, if you're in the top 30 the week before, the seeds lock in a week before. But 6 weeks earlier is the entry list, which is everybody who's eligible to play. You enter the tournament and the top 100 lock in. 6 weeks, that's nuts. Yeah, I'm not sure what the reasoning is for that. Maybe there's probably an explanation, but I just don't. It's just how it is, right? So 6 weeks before is when the if you're in the top 100 6 weeks earlier, you are guaranteed to play. If you're healthy, you're guaranteed to play the US Open. If you're in the top 90, right? And we saw it with Boison, who got into the top 100 after the French Open, but it was too late because 6 weeks earlier was before the French Open and she was outside the top 100, so she had to play qualifying. And we saw it the other way, I think, with Vondrousova, who was at this after the French Open was outside the top 100, and if the entry list had locked in, then she would have lost. She wouldn't have made it. But Vondi, she obviously then went on to win stuff. But yeah, she was the opposite, where her ranking dropped down to like 150. But because before, like 6 weeks earlier, she was in the top 100, she locked in. So, it's kind of saved her, I guess. So yeah, those are the rules. I don't know who made the rules, and I don't know why they are the way they are, but that's the rules. Anyways, Atman is in trouble. We got break points for Sinner. First time today we have break points. 15-40. Atman serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Sinner. Return goes to the front of Atman. Sinner with the backhand into the front of Atman on the stretch. Sinner. Batman again. Okay. Backhand slice goes into the forward of Atman. As we find out from Sinner cross court. Atman gets the point. Sinner overhits it. And it's 30-40, one saved. All right, one saved, 30-40. Sinner just overhits it. 30-40. Still breakpoint Sinner. As Atman serves another fault. That first serve disappeared. Second serve. Good serve out wide. Sinner gets it back. Atman goes down the middle. But it's short. And Sinner comes in and puts it away. There's the break. That's a shame because Atman did a great second serve. Sinner was so far out the court. But he just couldn't control the shot down the line. He shanked it. It went short. Sinner comes in, punishes it. Breaks for the first time. 3-1. Sinner with a break in the second. All right. All right, 3-1. Sinner has the break. After an hour of no break points, we've had an hour and 10 minutes, we get the first break of the match. As Sinner hits a great serve out wide. 15-love. Oh, 15-love. Serve again. There's a fault. Second serve. Second serve. To the backhand of Atmane. Atmane in the net. I think he was trying to run around hit a forehand. He got caught in the middle. Just missed the backhand. 30 love. Sinner serves again. Into the forehand of Atmane. Return goes into the forehand of Sinner. Atmane forehand goes long. And it's 40 love. 40 love. I'll tell you this, chat. I know some people are going to be looking at this result because they didn't watch the match and they're going to pretend like they did and, you know, oh, the scoreline was close. Sinner must have been terrible. Okay. I still think, doesn't matter if you're Alcaraz or Zverev, they have to play so well tonight for me to be convinced that they can beat Sinner. Because the only reason this is close has been because Atmane has served ridiculous. Yeah, he's been okay on the ground strokes, but Atmane's serve is the reason why the first set was so close and why it has been close. But also, the way Atmane's been serving at like a top 10 level this match until he got broken. Sinner has been forced to play probably the best match he's had to play this week, right? He's been forced to, because of the pressure of Atmane's serve. So Sinner's been playing really well, right? He's been playing really well in this match because Atmane's serving has been elite, right? If we watch the guys tonight and their serving is not good enough, like let's say Zverev and Alcaraz, they're not serving. And I'm not saying double faults. They're just not serving well. They're not, they're getting broken or they're facing break points. Sinner will beat them because Sinner's had to face a guy who's serving ridiculous, right? If Sinner plays a guy who's not serving like that, there's no way Sinner's going to lose or even get pushed to a tiebreak. Like Sinner's not going to lose to a guy who can't serve. It's the only reason it's been close, is Atmane's serve. So tonight, when we watch the guys tonight, in a couple hours, keep an eye on the serving because that's going to be the key. If Alcaraz is serving out of his mind and he does that against Sinner, then we got a match, right? If Zverev does the same, then we got a match. But if they're not serving well and they don't bring that to Sinner, Sinner's not going to be bothered. He's going to win against either of them. He'll beat both of them. Because Sinner's played so well. And I know people are like, again, if you look at the score, you're going to go, he played so well against a qualifier. Oh, it was a tiebreak. Yeah, but that's because the qualifier was serving like a top 5 guy, right? I mean, look at like guys like Opelka or Isner in the past. Like their serves are unbreakable. It's been unbreakable almost for Atmane, except for the last game. So tonight, we'll pay attention tonight to the serving of Zverev and Alcaraz because they're going to have to serve well if they're going to beat this guy. That's the only way it's going to... unless Sinner plays bad in the final, but when's that happen? I mean, last time he played bad in the final was Rome, probably, maybe. On a clay court where he hadn't played for 3 months. Okay. 4-1. Or maybe against Bublik, but that wasn't a final. 15 love. But it's funny because you look at Bublik, what does Bublik do so well? How does Bublik win his matches? And he was the guy to beat Sinner in the weird loss that Sinner's had. Is there a pattern? 15 love. There's a bit of fault from Atmane. Second serve. By the way, we were talking yesterday a lot about Alcaraz's serve and how good it's gotten as well. So if Alcaraz is playing well tonight and he wins and he serves well, it's going to be a great Sinkeraz final. And we know Zverev can serve well too when he's playing his best. But they're going to have to do that if they're going to beat this guy. Well, they're going to have to get a lot of first serves in, a lot of free points, because Atmane right now, the reason why he's struggling a little bit here, well, 30 love, but he's missing a lot of first serves compared to the first set where he was getting like 75% in. Sinner hits a forehand win across court, 30-15. 30-15. It's funny because people are referring to the Dimitrov match. Let me have a look. So, how was Dimitrov's serve? So, Dimi was serving at 84% first serves, points won. He was only getting 60% in. He hit 14 aces. So, I know it's like impossible to, it's near impossible to beat Sinner at the moment. But I think one thing is for sure, and this is probably so obvious, but you have to either have a good serve. If you don't have a good serve or you don't have a strong serve, it's not going to cut it. You have to have a strong serve, a big serve that gets you 3 points. Or if you're going to have to serve the best tennis match ever to even compete against this guy right now. And look, maybe Sinner has a bad day and you're serving amazing and then, things happen. But assuming that Sinner's going to come out and play the best tennis he's ever, play the level that we see him play, as that man serves an ace down the tee, you got to do that. It starts with the serve. If you're not serving well, you're not going to beat Sinner. That's it. Easy. 4-2. Sinner with a break in the second. That was a second serve ace by Atmane, by the way. Atmane's gone for second serve aces. That's where he's at. But Alcaraz beats Sinner on a good day. Yeah, but I hate this because Alcaraz fans, I know you're watching, you're sitting in the background watching, and you're not saying anything because you just want to pretend like you're lurking. I know Alcaraz fans are lurking, so I don't want to say anything that they're going to get shitty about. But Sincaraz matches, the head-to-head, a lot. If you look at the head-to-head and you go, well, this is the head-to-head, it's, Alcaraz has a big advantage. It's too shallow. You've got to look at what the scores were in those matches. Because the scores in those matches, a lot of wins that Alcaraz got, he clutched, and which is amazing. He clutched them. But they weren't, it's not like he was up 8-4 and it was like 8 straight sets wins and then Sinner won 4 luckily. No. The 8-4, or even 8, is it 8-5 now? I think 8-5. A lot of those matches were very, Sinner had match points in 2 or 3 of them. Or they were 5 set or they were 3 set, close 3 sets. Yeah, it's 8-5. So it could have easily been 8-5 Sinner. Easily. Had Sinner have won a couple more points here and there, it could have easily been the other way. So it's a little misleading, the head-to-head. It looks dominant, but it's not. It's just that one guy has been has been more clutch, right? Or, again, I don't want to say Alcaraz is lucky because that's not fair. But Alcaraz saved championship points, saved match points in 2 epic 5-set matches, But 8-5 is not, it's not that easy. It looks too easy. It's like a 6-1 that every game goes to deuce, right? It's like, 6-1, that was easy. Yeah, but it took an hour and a half and it was a deuce game every game. That's not easy, right? It's a little misleading. And I'm also interested to know what's the head-to-head. Have they mainly played on clay? Because they've played twice at the French on clay. And they've played at Rome on clay. How many matches on clay have they played? Indian Wells they also played, which is a slow, hard court. So how many of their matches have been on clay? Because obviously that would be advantage Alcaraz. And on clay, the serving doesn't matter as much, right? Whereas, you don't have to have a big serve to, But then again, maybe that's a bad thing because your serve's not going to work as much. So it's better for Sinner maybe. But then Alcaraz, I think, is better on clay than Sinner, right? Don't think that's a wild statement. They played 4 times on clay. 5 times on clay. Okay. And they played once on grass, right? Once? No, twice on grass. Anyways, Sinner 5-2. We're talking like it's going to be a Sincaraz final. I mean, Zverev's still there. And I know people are going to be like, but Cam, Zverev can't beat Alcaraz. Well, then why is he 6-5 up in the head-to-head? 3 on grass. Really? When? Twice at Wimbledon? When was the third? They played at Wimbledon final. And then a couple of years ago at Wimbledon. Did they play at Queen's Club or something? Anyways. Sinner is now in control. And he is 1 game away from the final. Well, the next match starts in about an hour and a half, by the way. They've only played twice on grass. Okay, I thought so. I mean, we've watched literally every match they've played, except for the first time. Yeah, people are just throwing numbers around, like, not even looking at it. Which is 8-5 Alcaraz was the same as Swiatek and Sabalenka. Really? But also, okay, but that's an interesting comparison too, because also, I think a lot of people, well, hopefully you guys know that most of the time that they've played, Sabalenka Swiatek has been on clay. And Swiatek's won the majority because she's a better clay quarter. You could say the same about Sinner and Alcaraz. Most, if they've played 5 on clay and Alcaraz has won 4 of those, you go, well, yeah, of course he has, because it's clay, advantage Alcaraz. That's his surface. It's like Rafa Roger, right? Yeah, they played a lot on clay, which Rafa dominated. So he got to play on his surface. But if you take the clay out of it, it's an interesting head-to-head when they play on the more, again, I'm not, because Alcaraz, I don't think we can say that Alcaraz is not good on hard court or grass. I mean, come on now. So it's more interesting to see, you take the clay out of it, what's it look like now? Because that's more, especially more relevant on hards when we're watching hard courts, right? Anyways, love 15. As a return goes in the forehand of Atmane. Backing out from Sinner. Into the forehand of Atmane. Sinner forehand cross court. Atmane with a slice. Goes out. Twice at Indian Wells, which is a hard clay court. Yeah. I love 30. Sinner 2 points away from making the final of Cincinnati again. But I tell you, Atmane has got a hell of a serve. And if that serve works, if he serves like that the way that he's been serving this week, he will be a problem. That serve is elite. As we just serve in the back of Sinner. Forehand Atmane. As Sinner forehand goes to the back of Atmane. Again, the forehand of Sinner. As Atmane. Again, the forehand of Sinner. The back of Atmane. Sinner forehand again. But Atmane hit the backhand long. Match point, Sinner. Love 40. Love 40. Love 40. Sinner to make the final of Cincinnati. And he's going to play a guy who's either 2 or 3 in the world. So we're going to get some crazy matches over the next couple of days. But Atmane says no. He serves an ace. All right. One save, 15-40. As Atmane serves the forehand to Sinner, return. Goes in the back of Atmane. Sinner with the forehand. Into the forehand of Atmane. And Sinner hits a backhand slice on the stretch. Atmane comes in. Sinner with a pass. Atmane with a volley. Sinner with a forehand. In the net. Nice rally, Atmane. 30-40. All right. 30-40. 30-40. Match point number 3. As Atmane serves the backhand Sinner. Atmane with a forehand in the net. There it is. Sinner gets the win. He's into the final of Cincinnati. And he figured it out in the end, in the second set. And look, maybe Atmane's level on serve, which was phenomenal in the first set. He was untouchable up until the tiebreak. Maybe once Sinner started to figure it out a little bit, and Atmane maybe got a little tired as well. You know, he's had a lot of tennis this week. Maybe that serve just dropped a little bit, and Sinner was able to capitalize and get the win. But we'll keep an eye on Atmane going forward. He's going to probably play the US Open qualies, which sucks, but that's the rules. Unless he gets a wild card last minute, but we'll keep an eye on him over the next couple of months. Also, imagine him playing in Paris indoors at the end of the year. Like, he'll be able to play that event, and you know the crowd in Paris, especially the indoor Paris event, is crazy already. With that serve on an indoor hard court that's fast, that could be exciting. So it might not be the last that we see of Atmane this year. He might be able to do some damage on the indoor courts. A lot of French players play well on indoors, so maybe we'll see him again make a run towards the end of the year too. Maybe might not be the last time we see him. But what a week! And now Jannik Sinner is in to the final, and he will take on the winner of tonight's match, which is starting in about an hour and a half. If you are leaving, by the way, don't forget to sub on the way out. But we're guaranteed a top three clash. 2 top 3 clashes tonight or this week. All right. Bravo, Jannik. That's it. Respect to Atmane. For a terrific challenge. Oh, yeah. His serving was elite in that first set. And now he's, like I said at the start, he's kind of guaranteed himself to be, all of next season to play. He'll be able to, he's qualified, I guess, for Shanghai, and he's qualified for Australian Open, and he doesn't have to play the qualies. He's one good week or one good tournament, and now he's in the top, top 60, top 70, and he should be fine for the next 12 months to be able to play all the big events now. So it's been a very, very profitable week for him. Now he won't have to play qualies. Less matches to prepare, and he'll be able to play the main draw of these big tournaments now for at least for the next 12 months after the US Open. Oh, Navarro went to Monterrey to play singles instead of playing the mixed doubles. That's why she pulled out. Okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, also it's Sinner's birthday, so he gets a birthday present by winning as well. He gave himself a birthday present.